All right, I think we're going here. So, welcome to UFO Proof. I'm doing this live. We're going to be discussing the Roswell incident. So, anyone who wants to join in, I'm on Hangouts. And if you're on YouTube, you can just come and comment and all that good stuff and ask any questions or whatever. So, basically, I'm going to start with Roswell and go over my thoughts and any questions you guys might have or whatever. And then work my way on to some other UFO related topics. All right. So let's just start. Oh, I should probably turn off my notifications, man. I'm always getting blown up here. I'm hugely popular. All right. Let me shut that off real quick. There we go. Fantastic. Yeah, I'll just get blown up all day, So popular, man. You can tell by my huge amount of subscribers. So I'll just start off by saying, when it comes to the Roswell incident, let me lay down the basis of what happened. So it was July 8th, 1947. It was reported in the Roswell Times in their paper that disc had been recovered by the Army and was being sent over to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. And this was a big deal at the time because the very next day, the paper released another statement. The Air Force released a statement saying that, no, it was not a UFO. It was, in fact, a weather balloon. What we know today as Project Mogul. And I remember when they released that information, they released that in 1994. And General came out and said like they released a report saying the Roswell incident case closed, and they said the answer was Project Mogul. And there's been a lot of investigation onto it. Some of the main people who were investigating it were Stanton Friedman was the big one. He wrote the book Crash at Corona. In the book, he claims that there were two crashes, one near Roswell, and one near Corona. And Stanton Friedman is a very intelligent man. He's a rock star in ufology. If you're into ufology or UFOs, it's a good chance you know who Stanton Friedman is. He's a nuclear physicist, worked for GE on some projects, and apparently he's also had the most failed projects out of anyone. I think he worked on like 22 projects that had all failed and didn't come to fruition or whatever, working with the military and stuff. So he is also the writer of Captured, the Betty and Barney Hill story. So he brought that story to the light, to the public, and then he helped bring the Roswell story to the public and the MJ-12 documents to the public. Now, when it comes to Roswell, and as much as I love Stanton Friedman, I think he's a incredibly intelligent man. I think he's wrong, and like my personal feelings of Roswell is their balloon. Now, in fact, I think they were probably being honest at that point. And now, does that take away from UFOs? No, not at all. Roswell helped spur on the interest in UFOs, but the evidence totally suggests that it was in fact just a weather balloon, just Project Mogul. So, and if you look at some of the evidence at hand, let's see if I can share the screen with you guys real quick, and we can go and look at something. Because this is like when you look at some of the pictures of Roswell and like the crash, the debris and stuff, exactly what Project Mogul looks like. That's what it shows, exactly like the Project Mogul looked like a bunch of foil and sticks and stuff like that. And that's exactly what you see pictures of, is of them holding foil and sticks and stuff like that. And, it was a listening device for listening for atomic explosions from Russia. So that's why it was so top secret. And everything because, you know, they're afraid of the Russians finding out. But like just reading the report and stuff. Now taking what uh everyone says about what happened at Roswell. If you look at the actual report and you look at everything that happened, not like third hand, but you know, from the, like if you just read the paper, read the newspaper, okay? Even the rancher comes out and says, you know, well, it looked like a bunch of foil and sticks and, you know, weird stuff like that. And you know, and the rancher Mac Brazel, he I mean, he's like he's an old farm rancher, you know. You know, he must not have been too educated. He didn't own the land or anything. He just worked on it. It wasn't his land, and he said he thought it was a spaceship that crashed. And I think that because of him saying that, the military took it seriously, and they saw it, didn't recognize what it was, because I mean, how could you? You know, they're not previewed to it, so they're like, I don't know, and they just kind of took what he said and kind of went with it, and they're like, well, maybe this is one of those flying discs or whatever. And I don't know, like a lot of people don't realize this, but you know, that was not the start of UFO sightings. It wasn't Roswell, you know. I mean, it wasn't even with Kenneth Arnold, you know, who he was a guy that, because of him, they coined the term flying saucer, and his sighting took place 2 weeks before the Roswell incident. But it wasn't just then. I mean, for years, people had been seeing these things, and the military had already known about UFOs, but back then they called them Foo Fighters, and so they already had a good idea about them. And when they started investigating them, let's see here, I'm going to get it, a little paper for you guys. When they started investigating them, they, you know, the name stuck when a reporter had said that Kenneth Arnold had seen these flying saucers, because Kenneth Arnold said it looked like a saucer skipping across water. So that's where that name came from. But they had been seeing them for years. In fact, if you go and look up any of the reports from Project Blue Book, you can see that during the whole week before the crash at Roswell, there were a ton of sightings. And it's interesting because in the Project Blue Book, all the sightings that they're reporting at the very beginning are all from like military people. So they weren't even taking like public reports, but they're really good reports of like crazy stuff that was going down, but they weren't like civilian reports. These were from generals and lieutenants and stuff like that. And like when they were gathering the information, collecting data on it. So let's see here. Okay, I found some papers for you guys. Let me change the sizes. Yeah, it's you know, it's an interesting case, I think, in how a conspiracy can be started and taken to extremes that shouldn't be. You know, that's what's that's that's what kind of sucks. You know, like it goes a little too far. And I think Roswell is like, you know, a perfect example of that, where someone who didn't know made a suggestion to someone else who didn't know, and they're like, that sounds awesome. And of course it's going for a newspaper, so they want something sensational. So when the officer who's in charge is telling the newspaper, he's like, oh yeah, I want to give them something sensational, because he's like, well, that's, you know, he's like, says he thinks it's a spaceship, and then the journalist is like, oh, it's a flying saucer. Yes, and that's just how it just starts that way. It just develops. I mean, like every witness that I've heard testimony from you know, Jerry Marcel to Stanton Friedman talking about the case, or basically anybody. It's always been, besides Jesse Marcel, it's always been like third hand. And I've heard some from Mac Brazel's son and a couple other people, but like it's always been like third hand accounts. It's never straight up like, you know, the person was there, like I saw it. You know, it's always a story that they heard. And I mean, today there like Stanton Friedman has come out and said that there are like 50 or not 50 but 500 witnesses to Roswell. Like, I don't even think 500 people lived in Roswell in 1947. It's a little podunk town in the middle of fucking New Mexico. But, you know, I mean, maybe they did. I don't know. But let's see here. I'm going to try to share this screen with you guys. Let's see. All right, we'll do that. Bam. All right, can you guys see that? So that's the newspaper. But if you actually read the newspaper, it's like straight up says like it was sticks and tinfoil, and it's a very mundane story that, I mean, anyone could have picked apart. I'm sure it was exciting for Stanton Friedman to see that, but it wasn't. It's like, I think he just took it a little too far, and some of the things that he does really kind of disturbs me. But now that I got my stuff out of the way on my beliefs, which is I don't believe Roswell took place. I think it took place exactly as the military says. That doesn't take away from my belief in UFOs. I know UFOs are real, but that particular case, I don't know. You know, like if you guys have some other evidence that you think is more compelling, let me hear about it. That would, you know, that'd be really cool. But until then, I simply just don't know. I'm going to try to open up this Q&A feature for you guys instead of trying to go on to YouTube for you. But anyone, if you come to Google Hangouts, you should see the link and to join in. So come and join in. I think you can join in with just a phone. If you just have a smartphone, I'm pretty sure you can join in. Or you can also ask questions and all that good stuff. And, you know, I have my tablet up, so I'll try to get it onto YouTube to see if anyone's actually asking questions from YouTube, because that's what happened last time. But moving on from Roswell, but I want to stick with Stanton Friedman right now, who I really like and I really have a lot of respect for. But at the same time, there is, sorry about that, there is some things that worry me about him. And as in, like, you know, that he might be, in fact, helping to spread disinformation and try to, you know, slow down progress in the UFO community just with, you know, certain stories and stuff like that. Why do I think that? Well, because the stuff that he has been like a part of has always been kind of, you know, iffy, or, you know, like really fringe or whatever. Like the Betty and Barney Hill abduction case. Now, do I think that's true? Yes, I believe it. I believe what they're saying. That they believe it anyway. And did it happen? I believe them, so, you know, I guess it did. But as for some of the other things, like the MJ-12 documents, not on your fucking life, man. I mean, hey, it breaks my heart as a ufologist who believed them for such a long time. It breaks my heart to come out and have to say that I simply don't believe it anymore. I've done my research on it. And I mean, I've gone in and out for years searching up documents, and I can't find anything on it. And I mean, I can follow the background of the people who it claims to be about, and it just doesn't even, a lot of the stuff, the timelines don't make sense, you know, like some of the stuff just, it really doesn't work. And then the way they got the documents, okay, a guy, who was it? Bill Moore, was it Bill Moore? I think it was Bill Moore, maybe, who had was going to do a documentary on UFOs, was going to like make a movie about it, and somebody dropped off a roll of film in his mailbox, and he went and developed it, and it said, it showed him the MJ-12 documents. So they're not actual documents; they're photographs of documents. And I'm like, the guy was already going to make a film about UFOs. So he was probably had the idea of how to write a cool, interesting UFO mystery, you know? And then instead of just making it into a movie, I think he decided just to make it reality and start claiming that this is what happened. And I think that he got Stanton Friedman, either Stanton was involved because he ended up like working with the government to, and was giving information to the government, to the Air Force special investigation that were looking into UFOs. He was giving them information on ufologists and people studying it and stuff like that. So I mean, Stanton could have been a part of it. I don't know. I like to think he wasn't, but I mean, there is a chance that he in fact was. And I'm like, why he would believe those documents in the first place is outrageous. I don't know if any of you guys have ever actually read the MJ-12 documents, but it straight up sounds like they're, they're like written for entertainment. Like it at like mimicking how, confidential memos would have been, written out or handed out in the military, but it has information in it that they couldn't possibly have known. So it doesn't make sense that they would even be in there. There's just too many things that I find suspect about the whole documents. And then another thing is that he is very anti Bob Lazar. All right. He, has been calling Bob Lazar a fraud for years and years. And, I don't know if it's because he honestly believes that, or if it's because possibly he might be a little jealous, because that's what Stanton Friedman wanted to do, was the same stuff that Bob Lazar actually got to do. So, I mean, maybe it was a little bit of jealousy because he blew up in the UFO world, and Stanton, he was like the big guy in the UFO world at the time. And then Bob Lazar came on the scene and totally took over. So, I'm going to sign into my YouTube right here to see if there's any questions on there or whatever, because I'm just on Google Hangouts right now. So now let's get off of Roswell and then get on to Bob Lazar. What was so Bob Lazar worked out at not Area 51, but within Area 51, but he didn't work at the Air Force Base. A lot of people might not know that, but he worked at a place called S4 that he said was at the nuclear test site. I actually used to live in Pahrump, Nevada, and we were really close to the nuclear test site. And just like when you grow up around there and the whole area and like around Armagosa and stuff like that, everybody knows you just stay away from the test site because, I mean, one, it's deadly with radiation. They bomb shit all the time. To this day, they still test weapons and stuff there. They do all kinds of crazy shit there. So you just naturally stay away from it. His whole story is that he came, he got a job, was working at Los Alamos, and he sent in a resume to Edward Teller, and Teller gave his resume to another place, and they gave him a job working on propulsion for advanced propulsion systems, and he worked his way out to eventually to S4, to Area 51. Now he claimed that he worked on reverse engineering flying saucers. So for any of the younger millennials or people who are new to ufology, you might not know that, but and a lot of people might not know this, but if you ever heard of Area 51, if you've heard of that place, you have Bob Lazar to thank for that. Okay. Because before him, nobody knew about it. It wasn't talked about. It was nothing. It was Bob Lazar who came out and said, hey, I worked on alien spacecraft that I was reverse engineering at a secret airbase in the Nevada desert. And it's, called Area 51. But, he would always say, I worked at a place called S4, and he would fly to Area 51. So you'd have to fly to that airbase, the actual Area 51 airbase. You would have to fly there, and then he would get off the plane, and then he would get on a white bus with blacked out windows, and then he would drive like 15 minutes or 20 minutes south to the Papoose Lake bed, to a base that was hidden inside the side of a mountain. And he said there were 9 hangar doors that were covered in a sand-coated texture, and that they just look like the ground. They just look like the earth. So even from the sky, from anywhere, you couldn't tell what they were. And so, oh, hang on, let me put this in real quick. I'm going to get to try to get this YouTube up on my tablet up. These fucking Amazon tablets suck, dude. I hate these things. I swear to God, it weighs like 50 fucking pounds, man. But yeah, when it comes to Bob Lazar, like I really believe Bob Lazar. There's a couple different reasons for it. One, his story has never changed, ever. The whole time that, 25 years since this story broke, he's had the same exact story every time. He's never added anything to it. He's never taken anything away from it. It's always been the same story. And unlike anybody else in the UFO world who fucking makes it big and, like everyone gets, they get a lot of attention, these people can go around and they can go to symposiums and MUFON conferences and everything and get paid a lot of money for speeches and write books and all that good stuff and movies and everything. And Bob Lazar, after he came out and told everybody, he did like one event where he spoke to a crowd about what, everything that happened. And it was in Rachel, Nevada, which is a little place right outside of Area 51, at a little restaurant or a little inn called the Alien or whatever. And that was the one time that he's ever went out and did a speech or anything like that. And after that, he just stopped, and basically he just, faded away. Like his story was always really big, but he didn't want anything to do with it anymore. Get away from everything. So he basically came out to the news and was like, hey, I work here, blah, blah, blah. They're going to, I'm afraid for my life now because I exposed them. And, so I want, my story out there. And the journalist George Knapp from Las Vegas, awesome journalist, he had released a story and everything. And it was, he was a really good journalist and stuff. So some of the interesting things about that was they couldn't find his background. All right. So like, he was like, yes, I went to different schools, and he's like, they're like, what do you have your degrees and stuff like that? And they're like, we can't find a background on him for anything. In fact, they couldn't even find his where he was born or that he was American or anything, And he said he got degrees from MIT, and that was the school I went to, but I sure as fuck didn't get a degree. But he got a degree, and the thing is about Bob was like when they said like he didn't like. He doesn't have the proof of it. He said they're trying to erase his stuff. But when they tried to go and look for him, they like really, he didn't have a birth certificate anymore. His social security number wasn't showing up. His ID, his state ID had like the number didn't exist, even though he had the ID. And they're like, oh yeah, this is a real one. But they're like, it's just not in the computer anymore. He said that he worked at Los Alamos, and they went to go. Alamos was like, no, he never worked here. But then they found him in the phone book there, for all the company employees. They're like, he's right here in the phone book. So they're like, oh, okay, well, maybe he did work here, like it's just so many things that's fucked up. And then really, I think what really lends credence to it is that he said how he would get to like Area 51. Now this is what's so interesting. Because the George Knapp like was letting him have it, like, 'cause, like, he really wanted to try to bust him, proving he was lying, you know, because George Knapp's like, I'm not going to present something, and you know, he won a Peabody Prize for being a journalist and everything. He's like, I'm not going to present something that's, you know, bullshit. So he started, you know, tracking down, you know, going through Bob's whole story of how he got there. He's like, so how did you get to work? And he's like, oh, I'd go here and I go to McCarran Airport, and then I'd take a flight from McCarran Airport to the secret base. And he's like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, what's it look like? He's like, it's a white plane with a red stripe, and it has the call sign of Janet. And he's like, everyone on there just looks like normal people, and we're all just employees for Area 51. And George Knapp, of course, is like, you know, McCarran Airport in Las Vegas is a huge airport. And he's like, that's impossible. So they go to McCarran Airport, and sure enough, there is a part of the airport that is closed down for the public, and there's a bunch of red planes with white stripes that fly from McCarran to Area 51. And he even went out to Area 51 and could actually see the planes coming in to go and land there. So he knew he was telling. She was like, oh, okay. Well, he's like, what do you know? And it turns out the call sign is Janet. So he's like, he knew all that. He knew how to get there. Then bus with blacked out windows to S4. And then, of course, there's plenty of pictures of these buses with the blacked out windows going to S4, or, you know, going to Area 51. So George Knapp even talked to former employees of Area 51. Now, Bob Lazar was adamant. He was clear. He said, you know, he's like, listen, I didn't work at Area 51. The people at Area 51 did not have a high enough clearance to go to S4. It's like, so they weren't involved with us. He's like, at all. They were working on, you know, aircraft. He's like, I was working on disk technology. They didn't have a high enough clearance. So he asked some former employees, and they're like, well, yeah, we know that people will come in here, you know, off the flight or on, you know, whatever. They'll get to Area 51 and immediately leave, but we don't know where they go. And he asked Bob to describe because like actually Area 51 has like a snack bar, and they have like a McDonald's and stuff like that in there. And he asked him, he's like, what's inside of Area 51? Because like he would go there and wait for the bus or whatever. He'd like be inside the hangars and stuff, and he would describe like what everything looked like. So, you know, he knew that was his description was in fact correct. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And then the fact that Bob's background, I think, makes him perfect for somebody in that position, to be in that position to get that kind of job. Because not only does he do theoretical physics, he's also an engineer. So when you're talking about theoretical physics and engineering, like take CERN, the Large Hadron Collider, you have two teams of scientists. You have theoretical physicists, and then you have engineers. Now the engineers can't just build the collider because they don't understand the physics of it. They don't understand the math and the computations of it. And the physicists, they don't know how to physically build it. They understand the math. So you need both of them to come together to actually be able to create CERN. You need the physicist part and the engineer part. And Bob is both. He works everything out, and he also builds it. He built so a lot of people don't know this about Bob Lazar, but he built his car was water powered. So he ran totally off of water. And there was this material that is used in nuclear bombs that he used to create hydrogen for his car or whatever. And because it was used in nuclear bombs, even though it's completely safe, it was made illegal. So you couldn't purchase it anywhere. But there was a loophole in the law that said, no, you can't purchase it, but you're allowed to make it. Of course, this kind of material is really hard to make. In fact, you have to have a particle accelerator to make it. So Bob built a particle accelerator in his backyard. I swear to God, I'm telling the truth. All right. There's video of it. He's just got it back there. He's like, yeah, I needed to make the material. So I built the particle accelerator, and there's nothing they can do about it. He's like, I can't sell the material to anybody, but this is how the car runs. And so like he's a physicist and an engineer, so it's like he's like the perfect person to work at a place like that. And there's a lot of other things that with Bob's story that I think are really interesting. So when it first happened, when it first came out years ago in the early 90s, like he released it in like 1989 or something, or 1990, like when he first came out with the story. They offered him like movie studios offered him a shitload of money to to write a movie, to get the rights to his movie or whatever. And he was like, yeah, he was all about it, until they would go and do the script, and then they would give him the script, and he's like jumping over a car, like the the engine part of a car, like he's there, I mean, like sliding over it, and like like fighting dudes. He's like, but none of this stuff happened. They're like, yeah, but it's a movie, Bob, come on, it's a movie. He's like, no, I can't. He's like, no, it's like, if it's not exactly to the T, then he don't want to do it. And so he's actually turned down, like, that. I think his last check that he turned down was a $3 million check. It's like, and he doesn't have like he's not rich by any means. He doesn't have a lot of money. And he turned down $3 million because he's like, no, you can't. He's like, you can't go against what happened. He's like, if we don't tell the exact truth, then I don't want to be a part of it. And so, and today, he works at United Nuclear. He owns it. And he still, even today, he still does like contracts for the government and stuff. Like the substance aerogel. It's almost lighter than air, but it's really strong. He helped invent it. Like, so, which NASA uses it all the time. It's a gel stuff that they put on the side of satellite arrays, and they run it through the comet's tail, and then any debris and particles will stick to the aerogel. And he helped like invent that stuff. I mean, like, he's obviously really smart, and he owns United Nuclear, which sells all kinds of scientific equipment for experiments and everything like that. So it's like, I just really feel like he's telling the truth. Like, I've seen pictures. If you go on his Twitter account, he's got pictures on there from when he was 17 years old. Like, I'm talking like, the 1970s, and he's got like a rocket propelled bicycle. And he made rocket propelled cars when he was in college and everything. Like, I mean, just everything. Like, he's the perfect person to have done something like that. So I mean, I really think his story is really fascinating. And he took 5 different lie detector tests. All right. And he's passed every single one. He's never failed a single lie detector test. And he's had them done by some of the top people in polygraph tests. Like, I think he had like an FBI polygraph. Someone who gives a polygraph test in the FBI came and gave him a test. And it's funny because a lot of the testers, the people giving the test, would come out of it saying, holy shit, man, he was reverse engineering alien spacecraft. Like, they straight up believe him. They're like, man, that's fucking crazy, hang on one second, you guys. I'm going to write this down real quick. I'm trying to get onto the channel. Yeah, it was super cool. He's got so many interesting things that happened to, with his story, that I find completely credible. Like, it seems to make sense. Like, it makes sense to me. All right, there we go. Let's see that. I should be in. Let's see here. Okay, I think I'm on my YouTube. Let's see here. Go to my homepage. Oh, yeah. There we go. Cool. I see it now. It's live. Now I should be able to see. Let's see here. I think I'm on my YouTube. I see. I could hear myself talking for a second. Like, is that what I sound like? Hell no. Is there any? Oh, yeah, there is some comments on here. So excellent. Let's see. Let's see here. We got, hi. Did anyone died? Died where? At Roswell? If that's what you were talking about. No, I don't believe so. Who's this? Valletta. Hi, Valletta. Hello. Right? I don't know. I always fuck everybody's names up. You know that? We have No FD 1977. Kudu Broski. Ah, what's up? How we doing? There's Clint Martin. Yeah. What's up, motherfucker? You should call someone watching and put it on speaker. I always do. Come and Clint, come and call. Anybody on here, go ahead. Dabs too, if you're into that shit. Yes. I actually broke my dabber too. I still have the head for it, the nail, but I fucking God, it sucked, man. Fucking crunch. Cairo. There we go. The paper slipped up bad. Oh, which one are you talking about? The MJ12 document? It's Polish, means crown. What means crown? Oh, you're saying his last name is Corona. I see. Pedro Perez. I got 10. I got 10 at G. That's not bad. Damn right, I'm gonna give him the real scoop. Do you get high? Who, me? Fuck yeah, we all get high. Something wrong with you if you're not getting high, man. Like that. Fuck secure team. Thank you, Dominic21, dude. You fucking rock. Yeah, so I can see your guys' questions on here now. So anyone want to come and ask a question, whatever, hopefully they'll just keep popping up. So, and if you go to Google Hangouts, man, you can join in. Fucking come and join in with me. It's fine. We're just sitting here bullshitting, so don't worry. Yeah, so where was I? Bob Lazar. Now there's and you know, I do believe him. In fact, you know what? Just before I end it with Bob Lazar, one other thing. You know what happened to him? He got fucking charged, okay, for visiting a whorehouse. Okay, now in Nevada, prostitution is legal. In Las Vegas, prostitution is illegal. But outside of Las Vegas, it's completely legal. Like where I used to live in Pahrump, it was legal. In fact, my best friend's mom worked at a whorehouse. She wasn't a whore, she was a cook, okay? But she worked at the Bunny Ranch. So like prostitution is totally legal out there. But they charged him with you know, some kind of like running a ring with these madams or these prostitutes, some stupid fucking thing that involved this whorehouse or whatever, and this brothel, and basically it just tried to smear him. You know, it was the only thing that happened was that the brothel had done something like they claimed that was illegal, and they tried to put it on Bob Lazar because he helped them install their computer equipment, and he's like, I have no idea how it has anything to fucking do with me. And so when he goes to court, what was interesting is like he goes to court and the judge is like, I find it very, you know, interesting that I can't get any information on your background. And that they had people from the Air Force with the prosecutor for some reason. And we're talking to them or whatever. He's like, I find all this, you know, highly irregular. He's like, I can't find anything on you. He's like, and Bob Lazar even had his tax statements saying that he worked there because he showed him his taxes. He's like, yeah, here's my taxes from it. You know, like he showed him everything. And then they charged him with this thing and they fucking sentenced him to 3 years of probation. And then they sentenced him to having to go and see a psychiatrist for every day or every week for 2 years or something fucking ridiculous. They were basically trying to make him look crazy. And it's like, the dude is obviously highly intelligent, you know, but it's like, so even if he was lying, he built a particle accelerator in his backyard. I mean, fucking give him, I mean, he's going to have some fucking brains. All right. But they try to make him look like he was straight up fucking loco. I felt bad for him, you know, but I've actually seen that videotape of the deposition at his court, and it's fucked up, man, that they charge him with all that. Bob's like, this is bullshit, dude. What the fuck, man? But besides Bob Lazar, now, although I believe Bob Lazar, there are plenty of people who I don't fucking believe who steal shit from Bob Lazar, like take his stories and take his like what he has said in his encounter or whatever, his his whole ordeal, and they try to like play it off and make it like part of theirs, man. And so right now I'm going to give you guys some people to fucking watch out for. All right. First person, I know a lot of people might know about him. A man by the name of Phil Schneider. You guys ever hear of him? He's the guy who went around talking about deep underground military bases. You guys know, he says he killed two tall gray aliens. He shot them. Has anyone heard about that? Okay. I'm going to assume yes. That, I'm going to tell you guys right now. When I first heard the story, I was like, wow, it's a fucking interesting tale. And I just listening to the story, I was already like, this is not real. The guy's obviously fucking mental. And I mean, I knew it immediately. I knew he was fucking crazy. What surprised me was how so many people totally fucking believed it. Like, they're like, no, he's telling the truth. And I'm like, no, he's fucking insane. Like, he's mental as shit. And they're like, no. I'm like, just his story alone is so fucking made up, crazy ass bullshit, dude. It just, oh my God, man. It's sad, man. Like, people don't realize this. And his story, just what he says in like his hour-long speeches or whatever, gives it away that not only was this event did not take place, but that he's never been in the military and doesn't have a fucking clue what he's talking about. He assumes stuff that not true. So he probably got some little bit of information and just ran with it. Everybody knows the military has underground bases. Everybody knows that. Everyone knows about Mount Cheyenne and shit like that. Everyone knows that shit with NORAD, but he took it to a fucking extreme level. I'll explain one real quick. So he says that was it 1979, I believe, there was a war between two aliens and 70 Delta Force fucking kick-ass fucking Navy SEAL fucking stormtroopers. All right. These like super soldiers or whatever. And that these like 70 people died. All right. He said that he was an engineer helping like to make the fucking underground base, like dig it out. And they dug a hole and a bunch of soot and smoke or something came out. And they sent him down in like a suit, kind of like a spaceman suit, like an oxygen suit, a protection suit. But one, he didn't even know the name of it, but which is funny. And he gets down there, and I'm like, why would they send him down there in the first place? What does he have to do with it? Okay, but let's just say that he did. Then he gets down there, he sees these aliens, these two aliens or whatever, and he said that the smell was just horrible. How did he smell it if he was in the oxygen suit? He definitely shouldn't have been able to smell anything, but he smelled it. Don't believe me? Watch the fucking video. That's what he says. Then he says he reaches for his little sidearm, his little Walter PPK. That's what he could carry with him. Okay. But there again, so he's wearing a sidearm on the outside of his oxygen suit. He put a gun on the outside of his oxygen suit, Okay. That doesn't make sense, but fucking fine, whatever. Let's just go with it. But what's really funny is just the simple fact that he has a gun and that these Delta Force soldiers had guns. See, Phil didn't realize that the military can't have guns in the USA. I know a lot of people might not understand this, but in fact, just a year ago in like 2015 or the end of 2014, it was a big deal that people were trying to make it so uh, you could carry weapons at recruiting centers. Do you guys remember that? Because there was some mass shootings. There was some people like shooting up military places or whatever, and so like people were like, oh, they should be able to carry weapons or whatever, because that there's a law that's been on the books forever that prevents from carrying weapons in the United States. They can train. Yes, they can train, and they're all supervised when they train. All the rounds are accounted for and everything when they train at places in the USA, but they are not allowed to have weapons. They don't get them. Who gets weapons? The National Guard is the only people who can carry weapons and make and fight within the United States. The Army is not allowed to fight here. The military, the Navy SEALs, it doesn't matter. Nobody is allowed to fight on American soil, and that's part of our like the our history, like, you know, part of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Like it prevents the Army from being able to seize power. You get it? So they prevent that by limiting their ability to have weapons. So a lot of people don't realize this, but it's true, because they see movies and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, the military can carry. No, they fucking can't. It's because that's the law. They're not allowed to. There's no Marines walking around with M16s here. You would never see it. You could possibly see the National Guard, but that's it. That's just the law. And he simply didn't understand that, because I'm sure he's seen a million movies and he's like, oh yeah, okay, so let's, you know, and so he just goes and makes up shit like that and doesn't realize that it's fucking wrong. So it's like, you know, it's like just the laws itself, everything else. And then not only that, if you think he's crazy, you should hear his fucking wife, man. Like, I don't know how you get two schizophrenic people together, but fucking they met each other somehow, dude. They were in some mental hospital together or something, man. Because I mean, she like believed his lies and shit. And I read a interview with her, and I swear to God, this is true, okay? And you guys can look this up. She said that, well, when he first told her the story, that it was a little bit different because he went down and he wasn't in his suit or whatever. He was wearing his regular clothes, and he killed his aliens, but he didn't kill them by shooting them. And I swear on my fucking love for UFOs, okay, that I'm telling you guys the truth. She said that, oh no, he killed them by pissing into his hard hat. He took his hard hat off, pissed into it, and threw it on the aliens. I fucking shit you not. I swear to God, that is what she says in the fucking interview. That bitch is crazy as shit, man. She's fucking straight up loco, dude. Like the shit that they were like, she was saying, like, she's like, oh yeah, the government follows me, and you know, and you know, and I'm a soul seeker, and you know, a spiritual guide. Like, I mean, like all kinds of fucking crazy ass fucking mumbo jumbo bullshit. And you know how like black helicopters follow her everywhere, you know, like she was fucking nuts, dude. And I did some research on Phil Schneider, and I did his background and stuff like that. And he's definitely not. He wasn't even in New Mexico in 1979. All right, he was in Wyoming in 1979, and also in Oregon and stuff too. And I actually got a copy of his Social Security. He was getting his disability check, you know, his papers for filing disability. So he was filing for disability before that event even took place, because he's crazy. He can't work. He can't go and get a regular job. He's fucking nuts, you know? I mean, like, it's so funny. Like during his interview or during his speeches or whatever, he's like, oh yeah, I got someone tried to assassinate me 2 weeks ago. I was shot by the FBI. Like fucking crazy shit like that. Like, I mean, just straight up fucking loco, you know? So if you come across his shit, don't fucking listen to it. The guy's full of shit, man. All right, I'm gonna check and see if I got any more fucking questions on here. I'll probably have to reload this. Let's go. Yeah, so that guy's fucking nuts, man. I mean, it blows my mind how many people actually fell for his bullshit, dude. Let's see here. Oh yeah, see, I got like 11 more comments. Oh, what's up, Ricardo? How you doing, brother? What up, Jay? Will I be doing more videos on ancient alien theories? You really enjoyed listening to all the history. Fuck yeah, I will, because I love history, dude. I am a history aficionado, man. That's another way of saying nerd. I'm a big fucking nerd. It's fucking Saturday, people. This is what I do, you know? I'm so I'm so nerdy. Like, um, how do I call in? George Washington. Oh, I like your name. Do you accept collect calls, dog? I'm in jail for raping a gray. Ah, yes, you can. Please call. I'll accept your collect call. Oh yeah. Um. Oh, call in, George. He says, just watched the new Roswell Ancient Aliens. Crazy. This is actually live. Fuck yeah, it's actually live. And it is crazy. Get high, motherfucker. 420. Thank you, 7 Mile Rider. Hell yeah. Uh, you got a dome. Clint Martin says he's got a dome sig for wax. It's awesome. Yeah, fucking, you know what? I had one of those and I burnt out the fucking battery, and I'm actually afraid to use like all those vape pens and shit now. I don't know if you guys know this, but I've come across so many reports of them blowing up in like people's mouths, and like one kid like it shot down burned his lungs and his fucking whole face, and I'm like afraid to use them now. Like the batteries are all fucking cheap and they explode. Oh, fuck that shit, man. Uh, kind of scary, but let's see here. I got some more. Yes, you should call someone watching and put it on speaker. Who should I call? I could probably call you, Clint, if you're still on here. Oh yeah. So, should I try to call someone? Oh, Jack's Pie. After you click link, how do you get in? Let's see here. I'm gonna help out Jax real quick. Let's see. This is just a cigarette, you guys. Okay, so don't give me a hard time. All right, calm down. This is for later. Let's see here. So if you click the link, so you go to Google Hangouts, and then let's see if let me go check the actual Google Hangouts thing. It should be right there. It should just be under Google Hangouts, you know, like it should have a thing for you to just join in. You know what? Why don't you just go to Google Hangouts, you know, click on your Hangouts and go to UFO proof and call me like you're trying to fucking call. See if that works. I don't know. I mean, I can't call myself or I'd try it, but go ahead. Someone try it. Give it a shot, man. Awesome. Awesome. Keep up the great work. Frank Lynch. Thank you, Frank. Fuck yes, I will, brother. Oh yeah. Yeah, someone call in, man. Go ahead. Like everyone. Oh, Clint's got some lemon kush, by the way. Fuck yeah. Oh, Dominic says weather balloon. Tehe purposely. Oh, they purposely pumped it up to divert attention from weapons tests. You know. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, I totally agree. They fucking what else? You know, what else could they do? You know. What a perfect way to divert attention. You know, it's like, oh yeah, give them this story. You know, sure, why not? You know, but I mean, I can't believe they would release, you know, that it's a crash disk in the first place. But hey, what do you fucking know? Where was I at? Who was I on? Oh, Phil motherfucking lying ass Schneider. That's right. What a fucking piece of shit. You guys don't fall for any of that bullshit. Are there underground military bases? Yes. Does crazy shit go on there? Probably. I don't fucking know. Did he go down there and shoot 2 aliens? Fuck no. Okay. He's fucking crazy. He ended up killing himself, and people are like, "Oh yeah, see, it was the government trying to make him look like a fucking suicide." You know, it's like, do you really think the government would do that? Okay, listen, if the government wanted to fucking get rid of somebody and be dead, they would just be missing. You understand? Okay, it's the I mean, if they wanted to get rid of somebody, if I wanted to get rid of you, you know what I would do? Do you think I would go and make it look like you committed suicide? No. I would go and snag you, and I would take you in a helicopter, and I would throw you out in the middle of the fucking ocean. Bye-bye. No one would ever know. Okay? And I'd be whistling Dixie on my fucking way home as you're just a missing person. You're just another fucking statistic. Okay? I mean, you guys gotta fucking think. It's the government. I mean, they're not gonna do anything. Oh yeah, we're gonna fucking kill him and make it look like a fucking suicide, and you know, we're gonna, I mean, because he was fucking crazy. All right. He was a fucking nut job, dude. And he was friends with like Al Bielek, the guy who says he traveled to the future in the Philadelphia experiment. Another thing that's not fucking real. It's just a guy made up the story, and it was a very interesting story, but it's fake. He just made it up. And people still, they're like, oh yeah, no, it's real. I wish it was, man. I fucking found it so interesting, but after I research and I find out that it's not true, then it's just not true, you know, and it's on to the next thing. That's all. You know, whenever you come across something that you really, really love, if you find out that you're in fact incorrect, fucking who gives a shit? Be happy that you found out that you're incorrect and you weren't looking like a jackass trying to convince people when you are in fact wrong. Okay. You don't think that I had time where that was me? Fuck yeah, dude, all the time, man. You know, so don't worry about it. If you see something that you like and you find out it's not real, that's okay. At least be happy that you know that it's not real. That you're like, okay, now that I know, and on to the next thing. There's always something else. I mean, the truth is out there if you keep looking. Don't get stuck looking at something that's not truth. Don't let that happen. Make sure you keep going, you keep researching, and you'll come to it. I mean, that's the only way you can do it. Let's see here. If anyone I think some other people just joined in. So come to Google Hangouts. If you want to give me a call on Google Hangouts, go to Google Hangouts and go to UFO Proof, and then just try to call me on Google Hangouts. Now, I would be willing to try to call somebody, but I don't want to bug anybody. Who wants to come on here with me? If you want me to try to call you, say it on the comment section in YouTube. Say, hey, try to call me, and I will fucking try to call your ass. All right. Just to see if it works. Why not? Fuck it. I don't know if it will, but you know, it should be cool, man. Now, fuck Dan Burish onto another ass, or not fucking Phil Schneider. Fuck Phil Schneider onto this asshole, Dan Burish. Have you guys heard of him? I'll strangle that bald fucking piece of shit, dude. I fucking hate that guy, man. Ugh. God, dude, he's so fucking. He basically did the same thing as Phil Schneider, who tried to take Bob Lazar's story. Phil Schneider even says all the same shit Bob Lazar does, but he goes even further. He's like, "Oh yeah, I worked on all these other special projects there. I worked there, you know, and I was a part of these programs, and I helped aliens escape through Stargates." I'm fucking telling you guys the truth. That's what he says. Okay, it's unfucking believable, man. I mean, like, it blows my fucking mind, man. You guys got to look him up sometime. Fucking Dan Burish, dude. He's even got like, he tries to say like he was given orders by Majestic 12 to go ahead and release information about what he's done with his work and everything, and shit like that. Like, he tried to claim that he was a microbiologist, and that he would like go and interface with aliens and shit like that. Like, it was so fucking ridiculous. Okay, he's full of shit. He's actually a fucking former probation officer from Clark County, so he's fucking full of shit. It's like, as soon as you do research on any of these people, dude, it's like they can't hide anything because they're fucking nuts, man, you know. And then, oh, you know who else is fucking terrible? Clifford Stone. Okay. You've seen him on the Disclosure Project. You've probably seen his video said that, oh, the government's hiding. They know about 57 different alien species that exist. That fucking guy, he's full of shit. All right. He's so full of shit. It's funny because you can watch different videos from Clifford Stone and he contradicts himself and says, oh yeah, one interview he'll say, oh yeah, I was here doing this, and then on another interview years later he'll say, oh yeah, at that time I was here doing this, and it's like he just forgot that he said that other statement, years ago. And that's one thing that happens is like people who are lying, they can't ever keep their story straight. The same thing happened with Phil Schneider. He would say one thing and then fucking later he would say another. They don't remember what they say, so they can't keep their story straight. That's why I like Bob Lazar. His shit has never fucking changed, man. It's always stayed exactly the same. And in case you guys don't know, let me jump back into Bob Lazar. He said that one of the things that he does that I thought was really cool was the propulsion system for the craft and like how it would actually fly. And that's what was really fucking fascinating. He said that they had some kind of machine that would access and amplify gravity. And there's two different forms of gravity. There's gravity A and gravity B. Okay, well, in physics, there's four different fundamental forces. Okay, so there's gravity, electromagnetism, and the strong nuclear force and the weak nuclear force. And then he says for gravity, and you got to understand something, you guys. Back in 1988 or 89, when he came out with this, it was believed that gravity was some sort of a particle. Okay. They even went as far as to call them like gravitons and shit like that. Okay. He in fact said, no, gravity is not particles. Gravity is a wave. All right. And this was in 1989. He's like, gravity is a fucking wave. That's what it is. He's like, and this craft could access and amplify the gravity A wave, and the gravity A wave is a small gravity, and the gravity B wave is the big gravity. So gravity B is what holds the moon around the earth and what holds the earth around the sun. It's the gravity that we experience every day. Gravity A is the gravity on a subatomic level. It's the gravity that holds protons and neutrons and electrons spinning around an atom or spinning, inside the atomic nuclei. And so this machine would access and amplify it because it's a wave. So just like any kind of synthoscope where it tests a wave, so you can change, and you can actually physically see like the waves of it changing, like a sound wave changing from a high pitch and a low pitch or whatever. It's the same thing, just like how a microphone amplifies your voice. This machine amplifies the gravity A wave, so it would like target an atom, and then it would access the gravity within it, and then it would amplify it to a certain diameter around the craft. All right. So all the gravity that was holding all the protons and everything together from that atom has now expanded and enveloped the entire craft. So now the craft is within its own gravitational field. Now, when that happens, it causes a couple different effects. And these are effects that people describe when seeing UFOs, right? So one of the effects is that you see UFOs doing whatever, 1,000 miles an hour and then take a fucking right turn. Okay. So you see stuff like that. And there you see, how is that possible? Well, if within a gravitational field, if you're in your own gravitational field, you can go 1,000 miles an hour and then do a right turn, and you're not going to smash up into the wall and die or anything because you don't feel any inertia. There is no inertia within your own gravitational field. Just like we don't feel inertia now, even though we're spinning, spinning around the sun at 500,000 miles an hour, we don't feel it because we're within our own gravitational field. So we don't feel the effects of inertia on outside objects caused by, that cause influence. They don't influence us, and we don't feel the effects of them. So that makes perfect sense, and I think that's another reason why I believe him, because of that. And then also he says when the craft is like, when it starts flying, he's like, it doesn't make any noise. He's like, when it first takes off, he's like, it sounded like a little like kind of like a static discharge. He's like, just like a little corona discharge, really. And he's like, but then that goes right away. He's like, it kind of lights up a little bit. But he's like, if you're standing under the craft and you look up at it, you don't see it. It disappears. It becomes invisible. All right. And it's like, that's because once it's created its own gravitational field, it's warping the space-time around it. So the space-time is literally bent, which is bending the light around it. So it's seeing what's up on top. It's, you'll be below and you'll see what's up on top. Oh, that's my girlfriend, dude. She's hitting me up on Hangouts. I wonder if she can see me on here. Probably. I don't know. I'm gonna ask her real quick. I should fucking call her. No, she'd be fucking pissed, dude, if I put her on live with everybody. Yeah, my girlfriend's banging. I know. I don't know if you guys have seen my Instagram, but go take a look. Yeah, she's fucking hot. I don't know if she can hear me or not. Matter if she's watching me or something. Let's see, hang on. What? Okay. So maybe she sees me on there or something. I don't know. That's funny. So anyway, now he says that, you got to understand something. When you're creating a gravitational field, he says that it creates a gravitational field, and then what it does is it bends space-time in front of it. So the craft doesn't actually have to travel anywhere. All right, since it's warping the space-time, the space in between the two destinations it's getting pulled towards it. So it would create a little bubble in front of it, which is distorting space-time. And so in essence, it would forever be rolling downhill. The craft always chases a little bit of distortion because the space-time is distorted in front of it. It's like it's constantly going, it's always chasing it right through space-time, and with little or like no time. It doesn't actually take any time to travel, except for the time that you feel within the gravitational field within the craft itself. So whatever, a second or a couple seconds or something, but they could travel incredible distances in a couple seconds. He says that, but he's like the has a couple different configurations on the craft that it would travel. That it had, what did it have? Delta configuration and an Omicron configuration, and one was just traveling on Earth, and he's like, that's where it just used one amplifier, and it like balances itself on a gravitational like beam or whatever, a wave. And he's like, that's why they kind of sometimes look goofy in our atmosphere, because there are different sections of the Earth where the gravitational field is different, and it causes like the craft will be going and it'll kind of rock and stuff like that because it hits the field changes constantly. We don't really feel it, but like a craft that is using gravity to fly might influence it. So there again, that's I find that I mean the physics of it are correct, so I mean that makes sense to me. Then he says there's the Omicron configuration. He's like, that's where the craft wants to travel through space, and all three these gravity amplifiers, they like swing up and shoot out in front of the craft and create the distortion. And he's like, when the craft travels through space, it tilts up on its side. Like, it goes like this, from a disc shape like this, it tilts up and then it flies through space like that. And I've seen just a number of different videos of UFOs doing shit like that. And people having, you know, testimony of seeing craft disappear like that and stuff. So I again find that very valid, you know. So with another experiment that he talked about was like when he first went there, he said that the guy, his partner there at the place, because he was replacing somebody, he said that the guy there was so excited to show him the stuff, you know, because it's like, you got to understand, when you're a scientist or you're a physicist and you're working on a cool discovery, you want to fucking tell the world, you know, but you're working there, so you can't tell anybody. So when he met Bob, he's like, oh man, you gotta see this stuff, you know, like he was so like excited to show him. And Bob said it was, you know, mind blowing, you know, like the stuff he was working on. So they were testing one of the amplifiers, and they were shooting out a beam, putting the gravity. And he's like, let me show you something. And his partner, God, what was his name? I forget his partner's name. They put a candle in front of the beam, and he's like, you know, as soon as they turned the beam on, oh, hang on, I got someone calling. Hang on. Oh no, did I miss it? Call back. I just had someone calling, but I wasn't fucking looking. At the last second, I saw it and it fucking disappeared. Motherfucker. God damn it. See, I'm over here just running my fucking mouth, man. No one's fucking coming here and fucking calling. I'm not paying attention. I need to be paying the fuck attention. God damn it. Whoever fucking just called, call back. I can't believe I missed that shit, dude. I just didn't see your stupid fucking pop up. All right. So whoever just did that, make sure you call back, please. I'm going to feel like a dick if you don't. Where was I? I was talking about the gravity A wave, the traveling through space, and the craft. That you know, the damn phone call threw me off. You know that? I don't know if anyone else knows that, but fucking shit, man. Man. You know, I can't believe I missed that. I don't know who it was. I just saw their number pop up for a half a second saying, hey, they're trying to call. I'm like, oh, damn, you know, fucking, I went to go click on it and they had already hung up. Disappointing. Yeah, you guys don't forget that I'm sitting here like going off, like trying to stare at the camera, and this shit happens like down here in the corner. I'm not fucking looking, so keep it going. Keep calling back, man. Oh, so anyway, they shoot the gravity wave. They shoot the beam at the candle, and he said it froze. And he's like, it blew his mind. You know, he's like, the candle flame froze and perfect. It just was like static, not moving. And which he's like, it doesn't make sense on so many different levels. One, if it was freezing the space-time in there, how is the light photons escaping for your eyes to even see it? You know, shouldn't it just be all black? But it's not. See it. He's like, I didn't understand the physics of that. He's like, it didn't make any fucking sense to me. He's like, you could see it. He's like, well, how does that work? And they're like, we don't know. They're like, just look. We're just running some experiments. They're like, look, it works though, but they didn't know what the fuck, how it worked or what it did. But it apparently it fucking, that's one of the effects of it. I mean, how interesting is that? He said it wasn't until he got inside the craft that he knew that this craft was of extraterrestrial origin, because before that he had read some briefings on it. Oh, there we go. Jack's Pie. See, I was looking this time, dude. Yes, I'm going to answer. Come here. Bam. See if this is working yet. I got my headphone on. Jax, you there? Hey. Awesome. I wonder if people could see him on there. Can you see yourself on YouTube? I'm going to check my thing and see. Can you see yourself on? Are you on YouTube? No? I'm going to get you on there. Hang on a second. Let me figure out onto this live thing. Oh, you know what? Oh, you know what I can do? I can actually just share the screen and then put the screen record over it. That's perfect. That's exactly what I'll do. God, I'm a fucking genius. Yeah, there we go. See, bam, I'm gonna share that right there. Now you might need headphones. You got headphones? You might need them. Perfect. Can you see yourself on there now? You're hearing the echo? Yeah. Oh, okay. Sweet. So you got that. Okay. Excellent. Well, ask away. What's going on, Jax? What are we talking about? You know who Bob Lazar is? Go ahead. Ask me your question. Go ahead. I think it's I don't think it happened. Like I think it happened exactly as the military like says it happens. And I think the people who started the story, they I think that a conspiracy just kind of ran with it. Not to say that they're not real. UFOs are definitely real, but that particular incident, I don't believe the evidence I've come across has suggested that it's in fact just a weather balloon, bros. Project Mogul. What do you think? Correct. Correct. Well, because it's not technically the weather balloon as it is the listening device that was hanging off of a when they use a weather balloon to carry it. Like, why would he have ever even seen that? He wouldn't have been previewed to that project, you know? So, I mean, that makes sense to me that he wouldn't actually know what it looks like. But at the same time, they were the only atomic bombing squadron in the world at the time. So it's like they should have some kind of knowledge on something, especially atomic stuff. But Russians exploding nuclear bombs or atomic weapons, I'm not sure if they would have been previewed to that kind of technology, you know? Absolutely. You know, and it really seems like that. It seems like that too, right? The contact lens. Now, Jax, did you know that they're actually making that now for us? That there's going to be contact lenses that will give people night vision. I just read a report about that, and I was like, it was a thing I read from DARPA, and I was like, man, that's so neat, and it just reminds me of what was it? The day after Roswell, what was it? Corso? That was his name, right? Yeah, Corso. Well, yeah, because he states that in his book, and then also controlling um electronics, controlling devices with your mind. He also said that there was a device there that the aliens would wear around their head that could control um or whatever. And in fact, we have that today. We have devices that are controlled with your mind, you know? Really? it was a possible alien craft. Yeah. See, it's hard for me. Like the information I've come across makes it, difficult for me to accept it. Like the story seems so like I believed it for such a long time, but just in my research, I'm like, everything just it adds up to what the military said. For me, I haven't seen anything that and when I hear some stories, like some of the stories that people say are obviously just like saying it for like attention and stuff. So maybe it might have been like the information that I've come across that is not the best. So it is possible because obviously there's UFOs exist, so it's definitely possible. But I haven't really found anything that would solidify it for me. Kevlar, correct? That's what they said. Oh yeah, fiber optics, correct? Oh yeah, like smart metal. Can you hear me? Oh yeah, like you can't see me. That's weird. Let me see. What about now? No. Can you see me now? I see you. Like I see you on the big screen. No. Let's see here. It seems like I'm sharing with everybody. No. It might be on your computer because I can see you and I can see myself. Google Hangouts a little tricky if you haven't. I've only used it like once or twice before, so it is a little tricky. Um, if you see that top bar, you can't see my screen, huh? Uh, no. Oh, that's weird. Oh, are you on a different kind of do you have two Hangouts opened? Because that happened to me last time where I had because I had a couple different apps for Hangouts. It's fine. I wonder if they see us on YouTube. Yeah. Hey, you guys out there on YouTube, if you're on there, let me know if you guys see us, man. I'm gonna try to I'll check it out my tablet. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure this whole thing out, man. It's fucking confusing, but I'm never going to learn if I don't just up and do it. And thank you for joining in and helping me learn. I can't believe you can't see me and see. Okay, for a second, okay? Let's see here if this will help. Okay, so do you see me now? I wonder if they I wonder if they I'm going to check you on my thing cuz like all I see right now is just a screen of me, but I hear you. Oh, see, it looks like I do have two Hangouts open. Oh yeah, because I have the Google Live and then I have your Hangout. But I see myself on there too. Are you still there? See, I hear you, but now I don't see you. Oh, now I see you. Can you see me yet? Yeah, you keep disappearing. Can you hear me? Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I see you on mine just fine, man. I wonder if they see you. If we can see you on YouTube. Let me check YouTube. Um. Okay. No. You got me. All right. Um. All right. Is it back on? Okay. Well, let me start my screen share again. On here. There we go. All right. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. Speaking of UFO crashes, I want to mention one real quick. And a friend hit me up on Facebook and brought this up to me and asked me if I knew about the case, and which I did. Have you seen the thing on the Disclosure Project about the crash in Peru? No, it wasn't. It wasn't recent. It had the crash happened in 1996, I believe. 96 or 97. It, man, this guy tells his story about what happened, and I swear to God, like I've heard people tell stories before about UFOs and shit like that, and um, like I could see myself in him. Like when I tell my stories, like I'm telling the truth, and I could see it in his face and everything he did and said. Like he was telling the truth about what happened, and man, it's one of the coolest fucking stories. I'm gonna actually do a video on it because I just don't want people to go and check it out, man. It's fucking awesome. What's his name? Joe. He's got a weird kind of a name. It's like Johnson or Jonathan. Jonas. Jonathan? Yeah, like it's like Jonathan. Jonathan Weinard or some shit like that. It's weird. Yeah, but this kid, man, he tells a story about going to Peru. He was like a gunner for like working to be a gunner, and this like call came in where there was a craft that went down, and they got it as a friendly craft. They're like, it could be friendly, so don't use any fire or whatever, but they need somebody to get out there immediately and secure the crash site. And when they got to the crash site, it said it was a flying saucer, and I forget what color how he described it, but man, it was so cool. You guys you got to check it out, dude. This kid, I mean, I swear to God, like telling the truth, like it's funny how some people, like, you hear their stories and it's like it's hard to believe or whatever, but 100%, man, like he was telling the truth, every word he was saying, he was being honest, and like he wouldn't if he said something that wasn't right, like he would, like, oh no, I mean, he would go and backtrack and be like, no, it was this, like he made sure to make sure everything was just so perfect. And I actually got like his info and shit like that, his social security number and his birthday and his address and shit, and I did some research on him and his like background, and he everywhere he said he was in the interview, like the schools that he said he was at and everything, I all checked out. Like I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, so I was lying. He used all these places and times, so it's like, I was just, I totally believe the kid, man. Oh God, what's his fucking name, man? It's gonna drive me crazy. Yeah, it's like Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan Weinard or Winard. Oh, what's his name? I'm just gonna look it up real quick. Fuck that. I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you, man. Just so you can see, man. This dude's cool. And even though he was a part of the Disclosure Project, that's a whole nother show. Disclosure Project. Even though he was on that, like he was he was part of the Sirius project or whatever. So they were doing interviews with a bunch of military people who had UFOs experiences or whatever, and he was a part of that, but not a big part. Like people don't really. I don't think he's not that. It's not like a popular case or anything. Uh, his shit was fucking. I find him totally credible as opposed to a lot of the other people, about half the other people in the Disclosure Project. Yeah. I'm gonna get the crap. I want to get the link real quick for that video so I can post it for you and for everyone else. And oh, I suppose I could check to see if people are asking any questions on here. Oh man. Hang on. And my fucking computer's been running slow as shit, you guys. I think. Oh, there he is. I'm running all kinds of things, man. It's running. I got the Google Hangouts running. I got like 12 tabs open right now, and I got this window open and 3 other windows open. Oh, a desktop or something. Fucking crazy. I'll see if I can share this with you guys. Get you the link real quick because this is definitely worth watching. Anybody, go and check this video out. I was so impressed by this kid, man. I don't know what it is. You tell me. You guys go and watch this shit. You tell me what you think. If you come back and tell me after you watch it. Say, hey, man. See, I can hear the. There we go. Now it's running. Or stop that. Or go back to share screen. All right. Let's see here. Okay. I should be able to see the other screen now. Hang on. You guys see it? You see this like you see this fat white boy? You guys see him? I hope so. I don't know if Jax can see him. Wonder if you guys out there on YouTube can see him. I hope so. But you're looking for a fat white boy, okay? That's why I got popped up here. You should put UFO crash in Peru. Would probably be better. It probably popped up for me because I've watched this video a couple of times. It's fucking awesome, man. It's really, really good too. I was fucking thoroughly impressed. So it's on the Serious Disclosure is the name of the YouTube page. So go and check that out. Serious Disclosure, UFO crash in Peru. Type that in. You guys will see it, no problem, dude. It's really awesome. I don't even want to say it right now because like I want you guys to hear the story first, whether you hear it from me, because I definitely got to make a video for everyone who doesn't watch tonight. I got to make a video on it because this kid is this story is so fucking real. Like I was super impressed. All right. Let's see. Can you see the video, Jax? All right, call back, man. All right, late. All right, there goes Jax. Now it's just us again, but I'm sure he'll go and call right back. So let's see here. Presenting. Yeah. I think it's just me now. Yep, it's just me. I'm back. I don't need that headphone anymore. Get rid of that. All right. So, yeah, I wonder who. I wish I could remember who sent that to me. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, you guys can always hit me up on Facebook. Facebook or whatever, and come say what's up. And I got the message on Facebook. I got all that shit. So fucking, you can go. You know, I got a Twitter and a Facebook and Instagram. So you can go and check all that crap out. So if you want to send me a video or whatever, or you know, send me something, you know, that's another thing. Let me, now I'm thinking about it. Debunk, commenting everywhere. He suggested that do a demonstration and tell everybody about how to find, you know, videos, you know, like I do. And it comes down to a lot of research and a lot of debunking. You're going to be debunking. So why you think I'm so good at fucking debunking? Because when you're trying to find the good shit, you'll come across so many shitty UFO videos, and you'll across good ones, but you'll be so jaded by all the shitty ones that you, if you don't fucking debunk it, you'll never trust it. So that's one thing you'll have to be able to do too. But I got a couple videos on how to debunk. So use those tips, and then use these tips, you know. One, UFO videos, okay, like they don't get put out by big channels, okay? Now the YouTube channels or whatever, those aren't places that you report UFO to, you know. If you have a UFO sighting and you want to report it, you are serious about it. And YouTube is not the serious place to do it. And everybody knows that. So I would be, you know, suspect if it's going to you first. If it's not getting reported immediately, I mean, like, I would totally be suspect of it. You know, if someone came in and said, oh yeah, you know, I haven't reported, I haven't done anything, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it was like an incredible video or whatever. They, you know, when someone has a video that it hasn't been reported, want to put it out or whatever, do you want to know where they put it out? And I'm not talking about a report. I'm talking about like a video. They put it out on YouTube, of course, on their channel. You see, they're not going to send you a copy of one that they hadn't already put out, you know? So that's like, so when any other channel gets a UFO video, that video is already out somewhere else. It didn't, you know, you might get you'll get some videos that might come directly to you. But it's got to be extremely rare. But I mean, I'm sure it does happen. I'm not saying that it doesn't ever happen. I'm sure it does. But for the most part, that's the people who are going to have the real UFO videos are just some fucking channel. It's not going to be a big YouTuber. If it's a big YouTuber, you're going to hear about his video everywhere. He'd blow it up. You know, it's fucking down the street. Old George as a fucking, you know, has a badass fucking UFO video, and he's got a fucking YouTube channel with 1 subscriber, Mrs. George, you know, and it's like, that's it. And some of these times you can find just the coolest fucking videos, because that's just, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll put up, you know, check out this awesome video, UFO video I had. Their shit's not popping up when you Google UFO. You got to think about what you're trying to look for. So, you know, try to be specific and ask, like, use like keywords and everything, like UFOs, like, try this, okay? UFOs for whatever date, you know, like pick a date, probably like a more recent date, you know, whatever the day is. And it's like what state and sighting. So you could say like UFO sightings, lights in the sky in Alabama on blah blah blah. That shit up, because when you do, you find out that's what people like who post kick-ass UFO videos that no one knows about. That's how they post it. I'm telling you guys, you know, like you guys just, I do the research, okay? That's it. That's how it goes. So I do the fucking research. So I'll tell you what to fucking do. Just trust me. Do it. That's the way we find it, man. I've gone through so many videos and so much research that when you want to find a good fucking UFO video that no one knows about, that's like, oh my god, people need to see this. That's how you look them up, because that's how people title them. UFO seen in Chesterton, Indiana, you know, fucking 2010, whatever. That's how people title fucking UFO videos. You know, they don't title their own UFO video epic craft descends and steals child. They don't title it like that, you know. It's just their, you know, oh, see this UFO, blah blah blah, you know, like, is this a UFO? What is this? You know, shit like that. But that's the kind of you want that's a good way to start for looking for. Still find some crap ones looking at like that. But, and another thing is, don't focus on countries and languages that you speak. You know, drop that shit. You know, look up videos. If you can understand what you're reading, then you're in the wrong place. You got to go somewhere else for UFOs. You don't want know even like what it says. Like, you want it to be so distant from what you're used to. And you can keep going through links and looking through related videos and help bring up other stuff to put you in a different area for getting UFO videos. Like, you know, when you look up UFO videos in Brazil or UFO videos in Peru or Australia or whatever, put, you know, a country's name in there. I mean, you get all kinds of great shit. You know, pick weird places that are so foreign. Like, you know, look up UFOs in fucking Cambodia or fucking, you know, anywhere. It's fucking like, no, really, you know, like crazy ass places. People post all kinds of cool fucking videos that no one knows about. This shit is not showing up. So, you know, you have to go and search for it. So that's another great tip. And then send them to me. You know, fucking let's show them how it's done and send that shit to me, and we can help spread real, you know, and have real entertainment and the way that every other UFO channel does it. We do it the best here, you know. Time we went to a UFO channel, fucking laughed, you know. When does that happen? It doesn't, but it happens here. Fucking channel, this is, you know, this is the way it should be. This is the way I fucking would have, like, if I could envision a cool channel, I'd be like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. I mean, it sounds like ridiculous like saying it, but I mean, like, to me, I'm like, cool, dude. That would just be cool. That'd be my kind of UFO channel. So that's what you know, I try to make. So it's taken seriously by people, and but they still have a reason to come back and then, you know, like, enjoy it. You know, the entertainment value. You got to have that. You got to have the entertainment value if you want to keep your voice out there. You know, you have to give them something. So just having boring UFO videos with no narration or some bullshit music in the background, you know, everybody does it. You know, that's why I make it a point to like talk over my UFO videos. No fucking music. Just it's usually just me saying shit, you know, talking and telling you straight up, like, hey, could it be this? Is it that? Well, you know, what the fuck? That's how it should be done. So it can be taken seriously. You know, that's why my fucking subscribers are the best, man. You guys are so fucking cool, dude. You know, it's like it's just so awesome. It's so funny to see like how cool everybody is on my channel. It doesn't matter what their beliefs are, or like, you know, what their political affiliations are, or spiritual beliefs, or whatever, you know. So the only thing that matters is we're smart, and we believe in UFOs, you know. Yeah, you know, I gotta tell you guys my vlog on my experiences, and my next one's really fucking cool, man. Um, just do it live for you guys right now, and just try to make the video live. I like adding the special effects to it though, and adding all the little cool little UFOs flying around and stuff like that. Not even sure if it would run. See, you know, because I mean, my vlog was cool because like the whole stupid vlog thing where you just kind of told a story in front of the camera, kind of like I'm doing now, just, you know, and I just told a story. But then like I did the background with using like the Google Plus or the Google Earth and the Street View and all that good shit. So it was kind of cool, like doing it like that. And then I added all like little UFOs and shit, so you can kind of. I wanted you guys to see what I saw, because I'm like, that's what I fucking saw. I was like, when I go there on Google Earth, I was like, God, I was right fucking there, man. Fuck, you know, it's like I was right there. I was just like this fucking going, like, fucking. So I wanted you guys to be able to see it, you know, from my perspective. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I think it's popping up. All right, it might run. I'm not sure, but if you guys don't have YouTube Red, fucking get it, because I just got fucking YouTube Red. It's awesome. No fucking commercials, no bullshit. And then it also helps my fucking channel out when I have people from YouTube Red watching it, you know. So fucking get YouTube Red. It's awesome. It really is. The fucking commercials were shit was driving me fucking nuts, dude. I hate that shit. And I'm like, fuck all that, dude. You know, it's worth it for YouTube, because that's what I watch now. You know, I ain't fucking watch TV. But I keep telling you guys, I'm running so much shit on here, dude. You have a fucking clue, dude. Computer's pretty powerful though. I mean, it's not bad. Oh, you know what? Okay, let's go back to the comments while this is trying to load up. We'll see what questions you guys ask, because this Google Earth is trying to load up right here. Oh, let me see. Try to do this so I can try to get your questions up here. Let's see. All right, so it looks like Google Earth just popped up, man. I don't know. Maybe I should just make the, you know, wait. So it's like I want to make the cool video. I could probably get away doing it like this, but I could do it now, but it's just not gonna look cool. You know, I guess I could just end it like that, because I don't know how many people are still watching or anything right now. There's one person watching. I was trying to find out. Then, you know, I might tell you anyway, dude. It was fucking cool. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh wait, there I am. Hang on. I see. I'm trying to do this shit like this fucking sucks. I'll go to my videos. Nope. And stupid Kindle Fire. I mean, it's pretty powerful, but fuck, dude. A little pain in the ass. Let me try to dust up on it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, let me get back to Google Earth. Those fucking stupid things piss me off. Okay, so I need to share my screen. All right, see, I was fucking one person watching. All right, here we go. Is that sharing right now? All right. So, okay. So I think that's going. Okay. Let me see. Hang on. Stop sharing. Bring it back. Bring it back on. Yes, I am. Oh, let me shut this fuck. It's fucking killing me. Okay, hopefully this doesn't hang anything up. Open on it. I have to shut that shit down. All right, keep that open. My screen share. There we go. There we go. Hey, Jax, are you on here right now? I don't hear anything. I can't tell if he's on here or I see like a picture of him. I have no idea though. John Conway just published a post on UFO poop. Oh shit, you doing a live stream? Yes, damn fucking right. Yes, I am, John Conway. Get on here, man. Go say what's up. Come ask a question or something. Tell me a fucking UFO story. Okay, so we're gonna share. I mean, it looks like I'm having someone else fucking call in. So I go open Facebook too. Man, I got so much shit on this thing. It's fucking open. How it's running right now. All right, so for the fucking 2 people who might be watching, one more second. We're just gonna make sure this is all legit. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna go say what's up to him. I'll say hell yeah. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. I'm just inviting his ass. Okay. All right. I hope he sees that on there. It's gonna be funny. Okay. So here in Maryville. Now this was my was that that's my was that my first one? Was it the house or is that the house one? Okay. So that was that one. The other ones are right. Yeah. And so no. Because I also did one. So and I had a bunch of it was really cool. Crazy shit, man. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. So you guys can see this right now. Whoever's whoever people watching, I've got to make a vlog about this. You know, it's like my whatever, but like what happened was so that I really want everyone to be able to see it from my eyes and everything. So like the presentation of it or whatever, but like a little sneak peek on it or whatever, because if it sucks, really want it, I might edit it in the YouTube editor out, show you guys, make it look cool, but hopefully, let's see, that didn't seem to work. Oh, that's because I was on the fucking tracks. Oh, let's see here. Oh, there we go. What the fuck? That's not it. Because I'm like, looks like what the fuck? That's not it. I had a bunch of little pins everywhere. I probably should. It's funny because like if I'm going someplace on fucking Google Earth or what, I'm trying to fucking look for something like tell my story or whatever. Like simple, like what I did is like follow the road happen. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I'll like get on there like I'm driving like this way and go out right fucking to it. So you know what? I'm gonna switch this around. There we go. Let's see here. So um you know what? I don't even know what those pins like. I know they marked the area for me, but what the fuck are they doing there? Like, that's so funny. That's definitely not the spot. I'm there on the fucking accident. Sorry if whoever's watching this. They're like, yeah, hurry up and get on with it. Fuck, I'm trying to. I'm fucking trying to find this fucking thing. Get off! Let's see. Literally, like, I gotta fucking drive there right now from it. Oh my god, that's fucking funny. That's what I'm gonna try to do. Fuck, are we right here? Hang on. Probably born to shit out of everybody. Well, in the meantime, I'll tell you guys another fucking story. uh, and well, yeah. In the meantime, this is where I used to live, and I, oh, that's much better. I don't even know what those fucking pins are for, dude. I was like, that's like, oh, what the fuck? What are those? You know? I was like, is that it? Those are it? Fuck, no, they weren't. Not the area. I fucking believe me. I fucking know 100 what everything looks like. I'll never forget it. All right, here we go. All right, so it's like 30, almost 7. Okay, and I'm driving to pick up my ex-girlfriend. She was my girlfriend at the time. I'm gonna go. I'm on my way to pick her up. Okay, my house, which you guys had seen before, heading up towards her work. And as I'm driving, I see these planes flying over. Okay, now I see 2 planes, and the planes look like crucifixes, like they look like a cross. With the lights, it looked weird, and I saw planes like one of the only place I ever seen them where the lights on airplanes look like that. I mean, it looked really weird. Um, 2 of them flying, and I'm like, they were like, they look kind of close to each other, but it could have just been like, who knows how far away they could have been, but as they're I see what I think is a third plane in the middle. And then as they get closer, as I'm driving up in the sky, planes, and I can make them out clear as day, but the thing in the middle was just like this ball of light is what it looked like. I'm like, holy shit, you know? So I'm like, let me pop up real quick. Get out of the street view real quick. So I see this like this orange like or this orange ball just like flying, and I'm like, oh man, that looks really cool. And the planes kept going, and I'm like, all right, well, I want to try to get a better look at this thing because it was like slowing down, and I'm like, oh man. So right where that road I was just at, I turned. I'll fucking go down there. Take a second to scoop my ass up there. So like I see it already passed, and I see like this orange like light or whatever, and he's like kind of behind the trees as I'm driving. It's he's actually hard to see, but I could like see him like coming through the branches and shit, and it looked like he was working its way down. Okay. And so I got to the end of the road, which like it's far. Yeah, I'm gonna hop out of this because it might take a second. I'm like looking for it, and since I could still see it like through the trees and stuff in the sky, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find a place to fucking get up there. It's just a cul-de-sac. It just ends. Uh, that's when I'm like, fucking, all right. I fucking pull over, and or now, like when I got to the end, it was like it was gone, and I'm like, where the fuck is it? And I'm looking around. All right, so I'm looking around, and uh, in fact, back then, these were, uh, or they all, yeah, this was like 6 years ago. These things were like half this size, man. They were tiny. This is kind of blocking my view, okay, but back here, what it was the light, like lighting up an orange glow, what it looked like, warm glow, really. And it started lighting up through the trees, and then the red glow moving through the trees, and it comes out. Okay? Now, um, this thing comes out. When it came out, it was a flying saucer, a disc. It was about 15, 20 feet in diameter, but it was only about 2.5 feet thick. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it was really fucking wide. It was really round. It was big, but it was like thin comparatively speaking. Like, like it was like a person could, if a person was in there, they would have been lying down completely flat, like their arms like spread. You get what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't have put a person in there. I mean, like, if you would literally have no fucking room to do anything, it's like it was like 2 feet thick. The disc comes out, and it's bright red like an electric stovetop. Okay, like if you put it on high, that glow, that's how red. Like it was red like that. The ozone around it was like burning. It had like this cloud that was like around the disc, and I was like, oh, hang on, Jax is calling in. Gotcha. Ah, there he is. Let me put my grab my headphones. Oh. All right. Oh, I got. Is that me or you? Ringing in. Carlos, he sent a message. Let's see. Looks like someone else was just ringing in. Yeah. Here it acts. Now Ricardo C's on here. Oh. Okay, let me get you on there. See, I see you popped up. So hang on a second, guys. All right. Ricardo, you can type it if you want. I'm trying to add you on so you can join into the thing if you want. Hey, can you see it? Let me see. Hang on. Oh, he says, "How do I spend it?" Yeah, Ricardo, if you can hear me, of course you can hear me. If you want to chat, here I'll say what's up. Hang on. All right, see, so I just said hello. If we go up top, you should see a little video camera thing. The camera and try to call me, or I could try to call you if you want, or you could just type a question right into there or whatever you want to say. Google Hangouts. At the perfect time, totally interrupted an awesome story. Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure everybody gets to hear it, man. Is it fucking bad? And you just get into the good stuff, too. Well, I want to get Ricardo on here, man, and make sure he knows how. Fucking pain. Yo, yeah, I can hear you. Jax, go for it. Can you hear me? Think it's running slow as fuck. All right, let's see. Hang on. Okay, yeah, because here we go. I'm gonna get rid of this. All right. Boom. I'll just dump the Google Earth. All right. Boom. Now? Yeah, perfect. Down. We'll get rid of that. Facebook. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because I got my blog open too. Which fucking. Oh yeah, you guys. I got on my blog, man. My fucking. I got the ISS feed, both cameras. I got both feeds running. To go on my blog anytime on YouTube. Just go and click it and fucking. You got both the feeds running live, man. So you want a UFO hunt using that shit? Go for it. It's right there. Did it in. Yes. See, I got so much shit open. This thing will not fucking close. I had so much shit open. Holy shit. See here. Holy fuck. Okay, yeah. Save all that. Get that. Close that. I got so much shit open. Like it's hard to close shit. Yeah, but Ricardo, we see your chat, man. So it's just chat right there or whatever. How's that shit disabled? I'll close this shit out. What a pain in the ass. I wonder what you guys are looking at right now. You guys see me on the camera or what? Oh, okay. All right. Um, that sucks. I'm trying to get all this shit stopped, and I got so much shit loaded up right now. But it's all getting closed out. It's just I had so much crap on there loaded up that like I was clicking close and it was just taking forever like for it to click on. Is it? Thank God. That's for me. It's frozen as shit right now. I'm just letting it run. So, oh, thank God. Yeah, I still got an hourglass on there running real quick. Fuck you. Let me go check YouTube, see if there's any questions real quick. Well, say something. Talk while I'm looking for this shit. Say that again. Oh yes, 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 with the two twins and everything. Oh man, that's a fantastic incident. Absolutely incredible. Go tell everybody what it is. And they didn't know they got abducted for yeah, even though like the story is so amazing that you would think that they oh man, they would have picked up on it. Fuck no, it's so crazy, man. Keep going, continue. Now, do you remember how they got onto the ship? How they first saw the UFO? They they and decided to go out into the lake because they wanted to do some night fishing. So they built this. They wanted to have like a spotlight, a light at their campsite lit because it was nighttime. So that way they made a really big one, like a bonfire. That way they could sail, go out into the water, do some fishing, and then they could always see it from they could see it on shore, so they could get their make their way back. One gets fire to the out in the water, and they see this light coming from around the bend, around like through the trees, and up to them. They hit it with the flashlight. The second that they hit it, a beam of light shot back and fucking up, and they started like paddling back to like try to get back to the shore, and it was like they got back to the shore. The next they were like paddling back, and they watched like UFO like fly away, and they get to the shore, and the fire is totally burnt out, and all four of them just immediately went to sleep. They didn't talk about seeing a UFO, nothing. They all just passed out. Well, one of the twin brothers was had like a seizure, and then after his seizure, he started having dreams of what happened, and so he went under hypnosis, and he found out that he got abducted, and he asked his brother to go under hypnosis, even though his brother wasn't experiencing any of the dreams or anything, and he did the exact same story of what fucking happened. And then they went to the two other friends and told them the same thing. That it, they told them the same thing, like that everything that happened, like so the light came down and hit them, and all like frozen, and these aliens came out and grabbed them and took them inside and like lifted them up and brought them inside, and they were all totally just, they couldn't move or anything. In there, they all got examined. They were all sitting there like naked, like all the dudes like would tell the story about how they were sitting there naked and they could see everybody else naked, and the alien picking one of them and taking them on the table and experimenting or running tests or whatever. And stories all matched to like where each person was sitting, like it was fucking crazy. When that's another thing, when the test got done and they put them back in the boat, they can remember remember seeing an alien like struggling to carry, and like was struggling to like put his like pants on or something. And one guy, he remember that when he got back to shore, like his pants, he couldn't, his like still couldn't like put his belt on right or something like that, or they just said fuck it and dump. And it was just so crazy how all their stories matched up, man. I mean, that was fascinating abduction story. Yeah, the Allagash sightings, definitely. Oh, there's a really good an abduction story that, I mean, it's so fantastical that to believe it or not, but the evidence suggested that he was telling the truth. But I mean, because I was like, the evidence was like really fucking easy, but the story was so that it's almost like hard to fucking believe. All right. So this gentleman, I forget his name. I have a story. It's open my fucking open minds. Bam, those fucking UFO magazines, dude. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, the shit is fucking. Yeah, that's just bad, dude. Yeah. There's a fucking great story in there. But the gentleman, he and he took his dog with him, and he was going to one spot, and he saw another friend, and the friend told him, no, don't go there, go to this spot way out there or whatever. And he's like, all right. Goes out to the spot, and he's getting ready to on everything, and he's these elk. All right, he like gets like behind a big log or whatever, and he pops himself up, and he's getting ready to shoot this elk, and he fires, and he says, stop, like, do. He said he watched the bullet come out of the barrel, that he just watched it barely just start going away. Thing was, the elk, my dog, everything was perfectly frozen. He's like, the bullet went out about or 50 feet, he said, fell down to the ground. It just like went down to the ground. He's like, it was so crazy. He's like, everything was like not frozen though, but like moving so incredibly slow that it almost appeared to be frozen. And this man came out of nowhere, who he assumed is an alien. He's like, the man came out he was like, he had no jaw, big teeth, square teeth, and he's like, his skin was a dark jaundice yellow, really yellow, like jaundice bright. And he said his hair was like roots of a potato. He's like, they were thick strands, like these big, like little branches almost, like coming out of his head. And it wasn't a hand, it was a point, a little like a little point, just beep like that. You know, it was like perfectly out of his little hand like that. You know, it was just, it all came to a little point, and had some kind of that went across his shoulder around his shirt, kind of looked like an X, like an X-Men. But it, you know, it's like that's how I described him. And he's like, he came up to me and it was speaking perfect English. Like, hey, how you doing? And the guy was like, you know, and he was like, oh, it's cool. He's like, the guy was like really nice to him, and he was like, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, how you doing? He's like, he did, like, for some reason. And he's like, those are beautiful creatures. He's talking about the elk, and he's like, hey, would you like to? And then I was like, he's like, I don't know why. I was like, yeah, I guess so. And he could see the guy's craft now, which was this like rectangle that was sitting on the ground, invisible, but he could like see the outline of this like golden rectangle. And he was like, come inside. And he's like, it was really, really small. It was like just a couple like 6 feet by, or like 9 feet by 6 feet or something. And he inside, and then they flew up, and he's like, we're gonna get the elk too. And they got the elk. How they fit in there, he's like, it was really small. It was like the Tartarus, really, you guys. Like fucking, he's like, it was small on the outside, but it was huge on the inside. And they picked up all this elk. He's like, they went to his planet or something, like another world, where he got a nation. And he's like, there were other people there, like totally, it seemed to be like conscious, like they all knew each other, like, or because there was one of them was trying to comfort some other people, and he was just kind of sitting there like, what the fuck? Like he was like kind of frozen like everybody else. And then one dude who appeared to be like with the group of people who were like got abducted or something, he was like trying to calm somebody down, you know, like it was like weird. And then like this, and examined him, and the alien who had told him that his name was Oslo 1, fucking name, Oslo 1. Before he went in for this test, this examination, Oslo 1 was like, and the guy was like, yeah, I could eat, you know, and he was like, here, and he pointed his little point at his box, opened up, and these little pills flew out, and he was like, try this. And he was like, he said he was full. he's like, yeah, I felt like I ate, but he felt good and how powerful. He's like, yes, you know. And they go back to the thing does like this test on him. It's like this little machine or whatever, and it goes away, and he could tell that he was like rejected, like he wasn't good enough. And he was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, all right, well, that's it, we're gonna take you back now, you know. And he was like, oh, okay, you know. It's like DJ, and he's like, oh. And he just had a feeling like to be like in some kind of breeding program or something like that. And he's like, my ass, you know. It's like, that's fucking bullshit. And then it's, you know, I'm like trying to cheat or something. He was like, I'm gonna go and pick this dude up, and was like, here's these pills. I was trying to like steroids, you know, like I don't know. But thing is that the reason why his story is credible is because he got picked up after the experience happened or whatever, to this house, and they called the police and everything, and his story or whatever, and they're like, you know, you're, and he's like, no, let's retrace the steps. And so they did, and they found the bullet, and the bullet was like sitting on the ground like where he said it would be, and it was like warped. It looked like it hit something, but it didn't hit like anything that was like it should have like done something else. To like, it turned into a form that they'd never seen. They're like, oh, it's like really weird, like flip itself inside out and like mushroom, but they're like, didn't touch anything. So that was an interesting piece of evidence. And then they were like, where's your truck? You know, and he's like, It's like the alien picked it up with his craft and dropped it in the woods with me. You know, because he took us from another spot, like where we were. That's not where he left us. So when he came, he apparently and fucking zapped me in this truck here. And so they're like, truck, and he's like, well, we can follow my path back. And they followed it back. He was literally in the woods for like 20 miles of like wilderness. They couldn't actually get vehicles in there to get his vehicle. It was all woods, and his fucking truck was just totally fucking right in the middle, crushed like between all these big trees. Like there's no way they couldn't even get a vehicle in there, like to get his vehicle out. They're like, how did you get it in there, you know? And he's like, also one dropped it in there. So story, man, but it's a good story, man. Oh, let's see. I'm just trying to see if anyone else is on. The screen looking now? It looks real slow on mine. Yeah, that's fucking. It's probably slow as fuck. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get all the taken off my computer and probably edit the fuck out of this video. It's probably terrible. All right, but thanks for hanging out with me. All right, Jax. All right. And everyone, yes, definitely. Anytime, man. Anytime. Anytime I'm on it, come and hit us up, dude. Everyone on YouTube who watches, there's one or two people left on there. Fuck, I love you guys, man. And I'll see you later. UFO proof out. Wait a second. Not yet. But 500 witnesses to Roswell. Like, I don't even think 500 people lived in Roswell in 1947. It's a little podunk town in the middle of fucking New Mexico. But, you know, I mean, maybe they did. I don't know. But let's see here. I'm going to try to share the screen with you guys. Let's see. All right, we'll do that. Bam. All right, can you guys see that? So that's the newspaper. But if you actually read the newspaper, it's like straight up says like it was sticks and tinfoil, and it's a very mundane story that, I mean, anyone could have picked apart. I'm sure it was exciting for Stanton Friedman to see that, but it wasn't it's like, I think he just took it a little too far. And some of the things that he does really kind of disturbs me. But now that I got my stuff out of the way on my beliefs, which is I don't believe Roswell took place. I think it took place exactly as the military says. That doesn't take away from my belief in UFOs. I know UFOs are real, but that particular case, I don't know. You know, like if you guys have some other evidence that you think is more compelling, let me hear about it. That would, you know, that'd be really cool. But until then, I simply just don't know. I'm going to try to open up this Q&A feature for you guys instead of trying to go onto YouTube for you. But anyone, if you come to Google Hangouts, you should see the link and to join in. So come and join in. I think you can join in with just a phone. If you just have a smartphone, I'm pretty sure you can join in. Or you can also ask questions and all that good stuff. And, you know, I have my tablet up, so I'll try to get it onto YouTube to see if anyone's actually asking questions from YouTube, because that's what happened last time. But moving on from Roswell, but I want to stick with Stanton Friedman right now, who I really like and I really have a lot of respect for. But at the same time, there is Sorry about that. There is some things that worry me about him, and as in like, you know, that he might be in fact helping to spread disinformation, and try to, you know, slow down progress in the UFO community, just with, you know, certain stories and stuff like that. Why do I think that? Well, because the stuff that he has been like a part of uh has always been kind of, you know, iffy, or, you know, like really fringe or whatever. Like the Betty and Barney Hill abduction case. Now, I think that's do I think that's true? Yes, I believe it. I believe what they're saying. That they believe it anyway. And did it happen? I believe them. So, you know, I guess it did. But as for some of the other things, like the MJ-12 documents, not on your fucking life, man. I mean, hey, it breaks my heart as a ufologist who believed them for such a long time. It breaks my heart to come out and have to say that I simply don't believe it anymore. I've done my research on it, and I mean, I've gone in and out for years searching up documents, and I can't find anything on it. And I mean, I can follow the background of the people who it claims to be about, and it just doesn't even, a lot of the stuff, the timelines don't make sense, you know, like some of the stuff just, it really doesn't work. And then the way they got the documents, okay, a guy, oh, who was it? Bill Moore, was it Bill Moore? I think it was Bill Moore, maybe, who had was going to do a documentary on UFOs, was going to like make a movie about it, and somebody dropped off a roll of film in his mailbox, and he went and developed it, and it said, it showed him the MJ-12 documents. So they're not actual documents, they're photographs of documents. And I'm like, the guy was already going to make a film about UFOs, so he was probably had the idea of how to write a cool, interesting UFO mystery, you know. And then instead of just making it into a movie, I think he decided just to make it reality and start claiming that this is what happened. And I think that he got Stanton Friedman, either Stanton was involved because he ended up like working with the government and was giving information to the government, to the Air Force special investigation that were looking into UFOs. He was giving them information on ufologists and people studying it and stuff like that. So I mean, Stanton could have been a part of it. I don't know. I like to think he wasn't, but I mean, there is a chance that he in fact was. And I'm like, why he would believe those documents in the first place is outrageous. I don't know if any of you guys have ever actually read the MJ-12 documents, but it straight up sounds like they're, they're like written for entertainment. Like it at like mimicking how, confidential memos would have been, written out or handed out in the military, but it has information in it that they couldn't possibly have known. So it doesn't make sense that they would even be in there. There's just too many things that I find suspect about the whole documents. And then another thing is that he is very anti Bob Lazar. All right, he has been calling Bob Lazar a fraud for years and years. And I don't know if it's because he honestly believes that, or if it's because possibly he might be a little jealous, because that's what Stanton Friedman wanted to do, was the same stuff that Bob Lazar actually got to do. So I mean, maybe it was a little bit of jealousy because he blew up in the UFO world, and Stanton, he was like the big guy in the UFO world at the time, and then Bob Lazar came on the scene and totally took over. So but I'm going to sign into my YouTube right here to see if there's any questions on there or whatever, because I'm just on Google Hangouts right now. So now let's get off of Roswell and then get on to Bob Lazar. What was so Bob Lazar worked out at not Area 51, but within Area 51, but he didn't work at the Air Force Base. A lot of people might not know that, but you know, he worked at a place called S4 that he said was it was at the nuclear test site. I actually used to live in Pahrump, Nevada, and we were really close to the nuclear test site. And just like when you grow up around there and the whole area and like around Armagosa and stuff like that, everybody knows you just stay away from the test site because, I mean, one, it's deadly with radiation. They bomb shit all the time. To this day, they still test weapons and stuff there. They do all kinds of crazy shit there. So you just naturally stay away from it. That his whole story is that he came he got a job was working at Los Alamos, and he sent in a resume to Edward Teller, and Teller gave his resume to another place, and they gave him a job working on propulsion for advanced propulsion systems, and he worked his way out to eventually to S4 to Area 51. Now he claimed that he worked on reverse engineering flying saucers. So for any of the younger millennials or people who are new to ufology, you might not know that, but you know, and a lot of people might not know this, but if you ever heard of Area 51, if you've heard of that place, you have Bob Lazar to thank for that. Okay. Because before him, nobody knew about it. It wasn't talked about. It was nothing. It was Bob Lazar who came out and said, hey, I worked on alien spacecraft that I was reverse engineering at a secret air base in the Nevada desert. And taking what everyone says about what happened at Roswell, if you look at the actual report and you look at everything that happened, not like third hand, but you know, from the, like, if you just read the paper, read the newspaper, okay, even the rancher comes out and says, you know, well, it looked like a bunch of foil and sticks and, you know, weird stuff like that. And you know, and the rancher Mac Brazel, he I mean, he's an old farm rancher, you know. He must not have been too educated. He didn't own the land or anything. He just worked on it. It wasn't his land. And he said he thought it was a spaceship that crashed. And I think that because of him saying that, the military took it seriously and they saw it, didn't recognize what it was. Because, I mean, how could you? You know, they're not previewed to it. So they're like, I don't know. And they just kind of took what he said and kind of went with it. And they're like, well, maybe this is one of those flying discs or whatever. And I don't know, like, a lot of people don't realize this, but you know, that was not the start of UFO sightings. It wasn't Roswell, you know. I mean, it wasn't even with Kenneth Arnold, you know, who he was a guy because of him they coined the term flying saucer, and his sighting took place 2 weeks before the Roswell incident. But it wasn't just then. I mean, for years people had been seeing these things, and the military had already known about UFOs, but back then they called them Foo Fighters. And so they already had a good idea about them. And when they started investigating them, let's see here, I'm going to get it, my little paper for you guys. When they started investigating them, they, you know, the name stuck when a reporter had said, that Kenneth Arnold had seen these flying saucers, because Kenneth Arnold said it looked like a saucer skipping across water. So that's where that name came from. But they had been seeing them for years. In fact, if you go and look up any of the reports from Project Blue Book, you can see that during the whole week before the crash at Roswell, there were a ton of sightings. And it's interesting because in the Project Blue Book, all the sightings that they're reporting at the very beginning are all from like military people. So they weren't even taking like public reports, but they're really good reports of like crazy stuff that was going down, but they weren't like civilian reports. These were from generals and lieutenants and stuff like that. And like when they were gathering the information, collecting data on it. So let's see here. Okay, I found some papers for you guys. Let me change the sizes. Yeah, it's it's an interesting case, I think, in how a conspiracy can be started and taken to extremes that shouldn't be. That's what's that's that's what kind of sucks. Like it goes a little too far. And I think Roswell is like, a perfect example of that, where someone who didn't know made a suggestion to someone else who didn't know, and they're like, that sounds awesome. And of course it's going for a newspaper, so they want something sensational. So when the officer who's in charge is telling the newspaper, he's like, oh yeah, I want to give them something sensational, because he's like, well, that's, he's like, he thinks it's a spaceship, and then the journalist is like, oh, it's a flying saucer. Yes, and that's just how it just starts that way. It just develops. I mean, like every witness that I've heard testimony from Jerry Marcel to Stanton Friedman talking about the case, or basically anybody. It's always been, besides Jesse Marcel, it's always been like third hand. And I've heard some from Mac Brazel's son and a couple other people, but like it's always been like third hand accounts. It's never straight up like, the person was there, like I saw it. It's always a story that they heard. And I mean, today there like Stanton Friedman has come out and said that there are like 50 or not 50. All right, I think we're going here. So welcome to UFO Proof. I'm doing this live. We're going to be discussing the Roswell incident. So anyone who wants to join in, I'm on Hangouts. And if you're on YouTube, you can just come and comment and all that good stuff and ask any questions or whatever. So basically, I'm going to start with Roswell and go over my thoughts and any questions you guys might have or whatever. And then work my way on to some other UFO related topics. All right. So let's just start. Oh, I should probably turn off my notifications, man. I'm always getting blown up here. I'm hugely popular. All right. Let me shut that off real quick. There we go. Fantastic. Yeah, I'll just get blown up all day, so popular, man. You can tell by my huge amount of subscribers. So I'll just start off by saying, when it comes to the Roswell incident, let me lay down the basis of what happened. So it was July 8th, 1947. It was reported in the Roswell Times, in their paper, that disc had been recovered by the Army and was being sent over to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. And this was a big deal at the time, because the very next day, the paper released another statement. The Air Force released a statement saying that, no, it was not a UFO. It was, in fact, a weather balloon. What we know today as Project Mogul. And I remember when they released that information, they released that in 1994, and General came out and said like they released a report saying the Roswell incident case closed, and they said the answer was Project Mogul. And there's been a lot of investigation onto it. Some of the main people who were investigating it were Stanton Friedman was the big one. He wrote the book Crash at Corona. In the book, he claims that there were 2 crashes, one near Roswell, and one near Corona. And Stanton Friedman is a very intelligent man. He's a rock star in ufology. You know, if you're into ufology or UFOs, it's a good chance you know who Stanton Friedman is. He's a nuclear physicist, worked for GE and on some projects, and apparently he's also had the most failed projects out of anyone. I think he worked on like 22 projects that had all failed and didn't come to fruition or whatever, working with the military and stuff. So he is also the writer of Captured, the Betty and Barney Hill story. So he brought that story to the light, to the public, and then he helped bring the Roswell story to the public and the MJ-12 documents to the public. Now, when it comes to Roswell, and as much as I love Stanton Friedman, I think he's a incredibly intelligent man. I think he's wrong, and like my personal feelings of Roswell is their balloon. Now, in fact, I think they were probably being honest at that point. And now, does that take away from UFOs? No, not at all. You know, Roswell helped spur on the interest in UFOs, but the evidence totally suggests that it was in fact just a weather balloon, just Project Mogul. So, and if you look at some of the evidence at hand, you know, let's see if I can share the screen with you guys real quick, and we can go and look at something. Because this is like when you look at some of the pictures of Roswell and like the crash, the debris and stuff, exactly what Project Mogul looks like, that's what it shows, you know, exactly like the Project Mogul looked like a bunch of foil and sticks and stuff like that. And that's exactly what you see pictures of, is of them holding foil and sticks and stuff like that. And you know, it was a listening device for listening for atomic explosions from Russia. So that's why it was so top secret and everything, because you know they're afraid of the Russians finding out. But like just reading the report and stuff, now taking it's, you know, called Area 51, but you know, he would always say, you know, I worked at a place called S4, and he would fly to Area 51. So you'd have to fly to that air base, you know, the actual Area 51 air base. You would have to fly there, and then he would get off the plane, and then he would get on a white bus with blacked out windows, and then he would drive like 15 minutes or 20 minutes south to the Papoose Lake bed, to a base that was hidden inside the side of a mountain. And he said there were 9 hangar doors that were covered in a sand-coated texture, and that they would they just look like the ground. They just look like the earth. So even from the sky, from anywhere, you couldn't tell what they were. And so oh, hang on, let me put this in real quick. I'm going to get to try to get this YouTube up on my tablet up. These fucking Amazon tablets suck, dude. I hate these things. I swear to God, it weighs like 50 fucking pounds, man. But yeah, when it comes to Bob Lazar, like I really believe Bob Lazar. There's a couple different reasons for it. One, his story has never changed ever. The whole time that, you know, 25 years since this story broke, he's had the same exact story every time. He's never added anything to it. He's never taken anything away from it. It's always been the same story. And unlike anybody else in the UFO world who fucking makes it big and, you know, like everyone gets, you know, they get a lot of attention, these people can go around and they can go to symposiums and MUFON conferences and everything and get paid a lot of money for speeches and write books and all that good stuff and movies and everything. And Bob Lazar, after he came out and told everybody, he did like one event where he spoke to a crowd about what, you know, everything that happened. And it was in Rachel, Nevada, which is a little place right outside of Area 51, at a little restaurant or a little inn called the Alien or whatever. And that was the one time that he's ever went out and did a speech or anything like that. And after that, he just stopped, and basically he just, you know, faded away. Like his story was always really big, but he didn't want anything to do with it anymore. Um, get away from everything. So he basically came out to the news and was like, hey, you know, I work here, blah, blah, blah. They're going to, you know, I'm afraid for my life now because I exposed them. And, you know, so I want, you know, my story out there. And the journalist George Knapp from Las Vegas, awesome journalist, he had released a story and everything. And it was, you know, he was a really good journalist and stuff. So some of the interesting things about that was they couldn't find his background. All right. So like he was like, yes, I went to different schools, you know, and you know, and he's like, they're like, you know, what do you have your degrees and stuff like that? And they're like, we can't find a background on him for anything. In fact, they couldn't even find his where he was born or that he was American or anything, you know. And he, you know, he said he got degrees from MIT, and that was the school I went to, but I sure as fuck didn't get a degree. You know, but he, you know, he got a degree. And and the thing is about Bob was like when they said like he didn't like, he doesn't have the proof of it. He said they're trying to erase his stuff, but when they tried to go and look for him, they like really, he didn't have a birth certificate anymore. His social security number wasn't showing up. His ID, his state ID had like was the number didn't exist, even though he had the ID. And they're like, oh yeah, this is a real one, but they're like, it's just not in the computer anymore. He said that he worked at Los Alamos, and they went to go. Alamos was like, no, he never worked here. But then they found him in the phone book there, you know, for all the company employees. They're like, he's right here in the phone book. So they're like, oh, okay, well, maybe he did work here, you know, like it's just so many things that's fucked up. And then really, I think what really lends credence to it is that he said how he would get to like Area 51. Now this is what's so interesting, because the George Knapp like was letting him have it, like, 'cause, like he really wanted to try to bust him, proving he was lying, you know.